Today we're going to look at the basics of ClassFlow. There are many distinct features to the program that you can add once you know some of the basics. After logging in, you will be taken to a screen with these tabs. We want to click on the Lesson tab, and this is where you can see that there are lessons that you can make on your own, or we can visit the community. By clicking on the Community tab, we can see that there are 1,206 lessons already made. All you have to do is scroll through and find lessons that you like. You can even search for lessons here. I'm going to go ahead and click on Counting On. Once I look at that, I can play the lesson, I can look at it and see if I like it. If I do, I can add that to my lessons. Once it's added to my lessons, I can click, go here, and notice that it says that a copy has been made. Well, I want to change that. I don't want it to say copy for my students, so I'm going to click here, and I'm going to just take that copy off, and I'm going to save it. Now, all that it does over here when you click the edit is change the features of, or the details of the lesson. If you actually want to change the lesson itself, you have to click edit and go in there and make the changes. Note that if it's been uploaded to the community, that means the person that owns it has gladly shared it with you, and you can make any changes to it that you would like to. So don't be afraid of doing that. That's perfectly fine. The point today is we want to come though and create our own lesson. We don't want to necessarily get from the community, though that's okay, but we want to know how we can create things on our own. So to create a new lesson, we're going to click on this plus button, and we see that we have the option to import a flip chart, or we can also import a smart lesson. Those are videos for another day, because actually what we want to do today is we want to create our own new lesson. So I'm going to click on that option. Immediately it comes up and I see that I have a screen here that has the ocean. We'd all like to be at the ocean, but I'm going to change the background just to show you that it's possible on this one by clicking this little tab and clicking to change the background. Immediately I have options I can click. It's going to put that on my first screen there, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to rename this. Now today what I want us to do is talk about shapes. So I'm going to click on Shapes, and this is actually the first card that's going to be presented in my lesson. As we are working on this, you're going to notice that it's very similar to PowerPoint, so I might refer to this as a slide, but in ClassFlow they're actually known as cards. Each new card, that's what it's called, as a card. Now come over here and I'm going to start on my new card, but I notice that I still have New Lesson right here. Instead of this being a new lesson, I'm going to go ahead and rename that to Shapes as well. That way everything associated with this lesson will be named Shapes. On this first card, what I want to do is add some text, and you'll notice when I click on that icon I get all these tools. Very similar to many of the programs that we're used to working in. I just start typing shapes are all around us. We go ahead and resize this. Have the option, I can change the font, I can change the font size, I can change the color, I can center the text. We're all very familiar with those tools, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that today. I'm going to deselect that, and I notice that my first slide is kind of boring. So what I want to do is add a picture here. You ask how to add a picture. It's really very easy. I'm going to come down here to where my web resources are. When I click on that, it gives me some different options. So I can have a collection of clip art saved in my resources. I could have some pictures saved in Dropbox or Google Drive, and I could automatically download those. But I don't have any clip art saved yet for shapes. So I'm going to go out to the web and I'm going to search for clip art regarding shapes. Immediately notice I have images. I can also upload videos or web pages. I'll go ahead and click on this picture. I have two options when the picture comes up. I can add it to my resources, or I can add it to my current card. I could also insert it onto a new card if I choose to do that. But I have to be careful because it says right here with a little message that images may be subject to copyright, and I noticed that this one probably is, since it says sample. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway just for sake of time and showing you how to do this. I'm going to click, and instead of adding it to my current card, I'm going to add it to my resources, because this allows me to keep this web address that I can actually go back and copy later and put on the final card that I'm going to put in my presentation. and I can just copy that web address and put that on my resource page. You notice that I have shapes here, so I'm going to click to open it back up again, and now I'm going to add it to my current card. It does come up rather large, so I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to resize it. Doesn't take a whole lot. That looks a lot better, and now my first card is complete. To add another card, I'm simply going to click the plus sign here. I'm going to use the text tool again, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to say, here are some shapes we see every day. If we're making this for a pre-K or a kinder class, they're very visual, so we're going to look at some different tool options that we have by adding this text on here. It doesn't seem to want to go all on one line. That's okay. We're just going to try grab it and drag it up to the top. I'm going to click off of that, and what I'm actually going to do is use my shape tool. Right now with ClassFlow, the only shape that you can draw is a square. But that's not going to be a problem. I'm going to show you how we can add that. I have some different options here with my shape. I can color it. We'll look at that once we draw our shape. I also have the option to change my line. I can make it a bold line. I can make it a thin line. So I'm going to go ahead and click, and I'm going to draw a square. Now if I want to, I can come here and fill in a color. I can have a red square. When I'm through with that, I'm going to go back and grab my shape tool again, and now I'm going to draw a rectangle. Actually, it's kind of drawing it for me, which is fine. If I want to resize it, I can simply do that by dragging. I don't really want this one to be red. I think I'm going to actually go in and change this and make it a, let's make it a green rectangle. Now, I know there are lots of shapes that we see every day. We can only do rectangles or squares. How am I going to add different shapes? Well, remember our resources here? Let's go back to the web and let's get another clip art. Instead of putting in shapes, let's type in circle. Let's search for that. Automatically, here are a lot of circles. So I'm going to click on this. It's already colored in with blue. I'm going to add it to my resources, so I will have that. Go back to my resources. I'm going to click on it, and now I'm going to add it to my current card. Makes it rather large, so I'm going to click, drag that down to size, put it up here with my other shapes, and I could continue to do this. I could put triangles and diamonds or rhombuses and all different shapes. I could also come back and get my text tool, and I could add the names so that the students could actually see the names you could point to and have them become familiar with that. But I want to show you another feature. Let's add another card, and I'm going to actually add some text. And right here I'm going to say, trace the shapes you see in the picture. Okay. Stretch that out a pretty good bit so that it'll fit on one line. I'm going to move this up, and I want to actually go back to the web, and this time I'm going to grab a picture of our classroom, because our students are very familiar with our classroom. You could search for anything here that would help you put a picture of different shapes on your page. I click this picture. I'm going to add that to my resources. Go to my resources. I'm actually going to click and add this to my current card. Again, it's rather large, so I'm going to resize it. And now in a second, I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this. That's all we're going to put on this card. In a little bit, we're going to look at how we can make our lesson interactive for our students. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to add some text here. And I'm going to say, draw the following shapes. Okay, so let's make this bigger. And we're going to want our kids to interact with us in just a minute. We're going to want them to draw a circle. I want them to draw a square. And you can add as many different shapes as you would like to have the students draw those. Again, we're going to interact with that in just a second. Let's go here to our last slide, and I want to show you how I can add a video. Now I could go here to my resources, I could go to web resources, and I could download a video. This will take us to YouTube. Now, I'm not sure about you, but when I go to YouTube, I do not like all the clutter that I see all the way around it. When I find a video that I want to show my kids, that's the video I want. So I'm actually going to come here after I've opened, and this is separate from ClassFlow. I know you can't see my tabs at the top, but what I've done is open another tab. I've gone in, opened up YouTube, found my video, and I've copied this web address. I went to a site called safeshare.tv. I pasted the link that I had copied, and I generated a safe link. And then I went to the safe view. Actually, another screen comes up, and this is what I get. So this is what will actually play whenever I copy this link right here. I'm going to right click and copy that, and then I'm going to actually go back to my videos. Here we go. I'm going to go back to my ClassFlow. And so now I'm going to click this to add a link. I click to add the link. I'm going to give it a title. The title of my song was Shape Song. Very literal for our kindergartners. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to add that to my card. Now, it doesn't do a lot. It's not real big, so you might want to add some different shapes or colors or things as you talk with kids about the lesson. And then we would add our final card, which would be our resources. And we would want to go in and now you can make as many cards as you would like to, add as many resources you would like to, but that's all we're going to do with this presentation for today. We're going to save this. And now I'm going to go back to my lessons, and it's going to generate. Here's the lesson that I just created. I could go back in here, and I could, if I don't like it, I can get rid of it. I can make a copy of it. I can edit it. I can actually print each one of the slides if I want to work on it. I can share it with the ClassFlow community. Or if I want to share it with my students, I'm going to click play. I have a demonstration class set up. It's going to load. And the first thing that you're going to notice is there is a way to share or connect with our students. So I'm going to click this to connect. Now it brings up a code. I would have my students on their iPads go in and type in this code, and it's going to connect us with the iPad. Okay, so I'm going to join that class, and very soon it should see it's changed to a 1, and I'll let you join my class in just a minute. We can connect by going to www.classflow.com/students, and students can join on a PC or a laptop. So I'm going to click off of here, and I'm going to get started with my slideshow. So I'm going to talk with my kids about shapes. I'm going to talk with them about, here are some shapes we see every day. And now we're going to get to this slide about tracing the shapes we see in a picture. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send this card out to my group. One of the individuals in my class is Minnie Mouse. So I'm going to send that card. And what's happening, which you can't see, is Minnie Mouse has this picture on her iPad. Now, as she does that, I am also going to start a poll with Minnie Mouse. When I start that poll, I have several different options, and what I'm going to choose now is to be creative. When I choose be creative, that allows Minnie to have some tools on her device, so she can actually grab a pen and she can copy some of the shapes that we've talked about. Now, I'm doing this rather quickly because I want to get through this. Now, Minnie has completed her lesson, and we are going to actually click here to see what Minnie wrote. And you'll see that Minnie actually traced some of the objects in her picture. So that's one of the ways that we can go and we can look at what our students are doing. We just simply close that. We're going to stop this poll, and we're going to move to the next slide. Here, the same thing. I can share this out, send this out to Minnie Mouse on a teacher card, and I can start the poll. I can be creative, and now Minnie is going to actually draw a circle and a square, and she's going to share that back with me. So So that's coming back to me, and our time is about up, but I think that gives you a good overview of what